Good morning, boys and girls. Today, we are going to use a new application called Cami, and it is a way for me to send you some work, as well as a way for you to be able to mark on the document. We've got some text-to-speech tools that I haven't figured out. We've got some drawing tools that we're going to use today, and our eraser for when we make mistakes, thank goodness. But we're going to use what we've learned about our touch points, which I have a copy here. And more importantly, what we've learned about change problems so far to solve some problems. So I'm going to scroll, whoops, there I've already marked on my page. Look how well that eraser works. I'm going to scroll up and I want us to look at problems. It says 1, 3, and 4. They've really misnumbered them there. Side A has 3 problems that we're going to do together. And as we get started on this journey, just know that the version A's will always be done together for practice, while the version B, side B, is always going to be for you to complete to me for independent work. Now yesterday, we learned that in a change problem, it is important for us, in order to be able to tell whether we add or subtract in a problem, to go ahead and draw our par-whole boxes. So I'm going to go out next to problem 1, and I'm going to draw my strip diagram. It does not have to be perfect, but just know that this is going to be very important in helping us determine whether or not we are adding or subtracting, because as I said yesterday, just because it's a story that has an add to action in it does not mean we're adding. Of course, today we're starting with some simpler problems as we had yesterday, but they will get increasingly difficult as we move on. So let's go ahead and let's begin problem 1. I want you to close your eyes while I read the problem out loud, and I'm going to kind of walk you through visualizing that action part, and then we're going to talk about it. Ella had 8 crackers. So right now in your head, you should be visualizing a girl. She's probably sitting at her desk at school or at her table. She's got some crackers in front of her. Again, we are not really focusing on counting those crackers in front of us, just that she has some. She got 6 more crackers. Now in your mind, I want you to see someone giving her some more. So now Ella has more crackers than what she started with. And the question asks, how many crackers did Ella have in all? So in the story, Ella had some crackers. She got some more crackers. And we are looking for how many crackers does she have in all. So I'm going to switch to a different color. I've switched to blue. You can choose whatever you want. Note to self, do you see there's a little artist pad down here? If you click on it, you'll come up with a much different color palette. And whatever color you change, like let's say I click on this yellow, I can change it to, gosh, I can really change it to anything I want. I changed it to that really dark purple right there, or maybe this magenta. Anyway, you can kind of play around with it as you have some time, but I just thought that was really cool. And then once you do that, it'll save it to your color palette out to the side. Whoops, sorry. All right, so let's take the story, the numbers from the story, and let's put it onto the organizer. So in the beginning of the story, Ella had 8 crackers. Now the change in the story was that she got some more crackers. What kind of change is that if she gets more? Is that an add to change or a subtract change? In my head, I saw someone giving Ella more, so I know that's an add to change, and I'm going to add 6. And I know that I'm looking for how many crackers did Ella have at the end. Now I'm going to go, before I decide my equation, whether it's an add pattern or a subtract pattern, I'm going to put my numbers in my organizer over here. The 8 crackers that Ella had in the beginning of the story, was that all she had or part of what she had? Well, I know in the story she got more, so 8 is definitely part of what she had. The 6 crackers that she got in the story was definitely not all, so it is another part, which means we are looking for the whole. Boys and girls, remember, the only time I add is when I'm looking for the whole. So I'm going to write my addition sentence here, and I'm going to use my touch points to help me. When I add, I touch the biggest number, say its name, and count up on the other number. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So Ella has 14 crackers. Very good job. I'm sorry I keep hitting my camera. I'm going to try to not do that. All right, let's move on to the next story about Joe. Moms and dads, boys and girls, at any time that you feel I'm going too fast and you need me to slow down, just pause the video and catch up, and then you can hit the screen again and it will continue on. As we go, I would encourage you, maybe on the last one about Kelly, to maybe try it on your own and then check with the teacher video to see if you kind of have it. Because as I mentioned before, side B is going to be independent work that you are going to submit for a grade. All right, here we go. Let's read about Joe. Oh, I almost forgot. We need to put our number strip out here to the side. Very important for deciding whether we're adding or subtracting. Here we go. Eyes closed. Joe had 14 grapes. So I want you to picture Joe at his table with his grapes. Again, we're not counting the grapes, just he has several grapes. 14 is quite a lot. He ate 7 of his grapes. And boys and girls, you should see Joe picking up some grapes, putting them in his mouth. And we're not counting how many times he's doing that, but we know that when he's done eating his grapes, he's still got some left because he did not eat all of the grapes. And so the question wants to know, how many grapes did Joe have left? So at the beginning of the story, Joe had 14 grapes. So we're going to put that in the beginning. Now when I eat something, it is a take from change. When I eat it, it goes away. And I'm going to put 7 in that box because 7 was the change. And I'm looking for how many grapes at the end. And so that is my mystery number. Now, for putting this into my organizer, let's ask these questions. In the story, the 14 grapes that Joe had in the beginning, was that all of the grapes he had or part of the grapes? Well, in the story, Joe did not get more grapes. In fact, grapes went away. So the 14 is all he had. That is my whole. And the 7 grapes that he ate was only part of the grapes. So now my mystery is a part. I can't add here because I am not looking for the whole. I am looking for the part. So I'm going to start with the whole and I'm going to subtract the part. And you can see, boys and girls, I'm having a really difficult time keeping my numbers on that line, so I do not want you to worry about yours. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Hopefully that will help me out. All right, so when I subtract, I touch the first number, say its name, and count back on the other number. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. 7 is the answer I landed on. That is my answer. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the last problem that we're going to do together. Again, we want to have our strip diagram over here to the side to help us remember whether we are adding or subtracting, and we're going to read a story about Kelly. Kelly had 17 pretzels. So I want you to picture Kelly with his pretzels. He has quite a few pretzels. His dog ate 10 of the pretzels. Oh my goodness. So you should see his dog kind of sneak up next to him and snatch away some of the pretzels. We know that there are some pretzels left because 10 is not all of the 17. And the question wants to know, how many pretzels did Kelly have left? So we are going to fill out our organizer from the beginning. At the beginning of the story, Kelly had 17 pretzels. His dog ate 10 of them. Remember, when you eat something, it goes away. That is a subtraction change. And 10 of them went away. And so again, we are looking for the end. How many pretzels were there at the end of the story? So let's fill this organizer out before we decide whether we're adding or subtracting to find the mystery number. The 17 pretzels at the beginning of the story, were those all the pretzels Kelly had or part? Well, in the story, nobody got more, so 17 pretzels is all he had. The 10 pretzels that the dog ate was definitely not all of the pretzels. And the pretzels at the end of the story is also part of the pretzels. Remembering, boys and girls, that the only time I add is when I'm looking for the whole means we are subtracting in this story. Now I'm going to go ahead and write this out to the side, and I want you to look and see what could be the matter. If you are brand new, so sorry about that. If you are brand new to touch points, you might have noticed that there is no 10 after the 9. That is because 10 is made up of one group of 10 and 0 ones. And so in this fashion, when we are subtracting a 2-digit number, we will be writing it out to the side vertically. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to write 17, and I'm going to subtract the 10 in this fashion. And so our subtraction sentence is going to change a little bit. What we say in order to remember the steps for subtracting. So when I'm subtracting vertically, my statement goes like this. When I subtract, I touch the top number, say its name, and count back on the other number. I always begin on the arrow side. That little arrow is there to help you remember where you are to begin subtraction. So we're going to start this process together and subtract. 7. Now 0 doesn't have any touch points, so 7 is the number that I landed on. And 1, 0. So my answer is just 7. Boys and girls, I'm very proud of you. Thank you for hanging in there with me and my shaky screens and all of that as I figure this new process out, and so are you. We've got this whole first side completed together. I do want you to work independently, maybe have mom or dad read these problems out loud to you. Don't forget to go in and draw your strip diagrams to the side. It will be part of your grade. When I look at your work and I give points for what I see, I'm going to give points for, do you have your strip diagram, and did you fill it out correctly? Did you fill your organizer out correctly? Does your equation match your number tree? And then finally, did you get the correct answer? So there are several points to be had for each problem. So I don't want you to stress. I've started off as easy as I can for the moment, and I hope this does not take too much of your time. Please respond in the comments to let me know if you've had any problems, and I can't wait to see your work and hear what you think. Bye.